Welcome to Gray Overload. Now, Sony has announced the PlayStation Pro. It's got a nice little price to it, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you're going to be able to pre-order it here at the end of this month and released in early November. So, if this is something that you're looking for, you're going to have an opportunity to do an upgrade here for the holiday season. Now, Sony has basically, there was a 10-minute technical video, which, by the way, congrats to Sony for getting it all in 10 minutes, kind of like the Apple announcements and a lot of these other announcements that take forever. See, take something from Sony. They can get it done in 10 minutes, and they have a new GPU in here, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling. They were able to do that in 10 minutes. They didn't have to spend an hour and a half on saying AI 50 different ways. So other companies can take note and use this. But they are saying, right, they were using an RDNA 2 GPU. I don't know if it's RDNA 3 or 4 or what part they're using for this newer one, because the PS5 was based, during that RDNA 2 generation. Now it's RDNA 5, which, or RDNA, has evolved 3 or 4, and now for the PS5 Pro, you're having this bigger upgraded GPU, right? They're saying 67% more compute units. They have 28% faster RAM and a larger GPU. Those were the things that they were really pushing here. And overall, this is going to enable a 45% faster rendering and gameplay, according to Sony here. So if that's the case, kudos to them to be able to put this out there and just push that console a little bit further. We'll see how much longer this console generation will last with the PS5, because right now I think it's kind of Sony in the driver's seat right now for consoles here, at least newer ones or interesting ones. Redoing and putting a bigger SSD in your console, Microsoft, is just not enough to keep the price where it's at. But advanced ray tracing here as well. This, I think, is just part of the upgrades in the RDNA architecture that Sony is being able to put into their consoles, and I think it's a good thing, right, to see this improvement here. And maybe this is foreshadowing of what RDNA 4 is going to have in it, or potentially in it. So they've increased their ray tracing, and then they talk about the AI-driven upscaling. So the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, and it's machine learning based, and to help create better images. I think together what Sony's trying to do here is make sure that you don't have to choose. I mean, they pointed this out in the video over and over again, between fidelity and higher frame rates. They said that 75% of people choose higher frame rates. I don't have a PS5, but if I did, I would have chose fidelity. I'm at 25%. I like to see that. I want to see the quality of the image. Now, if you can be able to get that and have their frame rates, which is 60 frames per second across your titles, I think that is the best of both worlds. I like to hit at least 60 frames. I like to be up a little bit higher, but to me, when I'm playing a game, I'm in that area where I just want to see the fidelity of it. I want to see the creation that the designers and coders were trying to do, and trying to the visual effects of it. I get that there's sides of faster frame rates, but come on, hardware makers, let's make bigger GPUs and faster GPUs. That's kind of my take on there. Now, overall, this is going to hit your pocketbook if you're going to pre-order or order this for the holiday season, right? November is going to be right in that holiday season, and that release date is actually, I think, going to line up pretty good, as long as they have enough stock of this to sell through for hopefully some Christmas gifts here, because well, it also gives you enough time if you want to buy it for yourself for Christmas, that you can start saving up too. At $6.99 in the United States here, that's going to be expensive overall, right? You have what, $500 for the Xbox, and what is it, $500 too for the PS5, so PlayStation 5, and they didn't go down in price like I thought. I thought they'd slot in. I was thinking this one's going to be a little bit more expensive, but they'll do $5.99. That's where my head was going when I was watching the rumors and everything else. At $700, I was like, wow, this is this is something that's going to leave me on the sidelines for PlayStation. I know I only have an Xbox right now, but I'd like to test out these other consoles. I think um, it'd be interesting and to see how they perform against each other. I think that this one should perform quite substantially a lot better than the ones that are on the market currently. But for, let's say you want a stand to have it a vertical stand, that's going to be another $79. Then if you, or no, the stand is going to be $29. The disk drive is going to be $79. So if you want a disk drive to play any disk games that you already have, that's going to cost extra. For $700, I wish that they would have just at least included the vertical stand, right? For $30, you could think that they could have included that, but I also don't know what the bill of materials cost is on these, and it may be that everything's just costing a lot more right now, and for them to get it out and their shipping of when this is and how it's releasing with the shipping costs is just, we got to capitalize as much money on it as we can, and maybe Sony's thinking down the line when we need to clear out inventory, we'll start adding more and more things to it. That could be. So let's get into some more of the technical specs of this and more of my thoughts on them, right? This is still just a Zen 2 core CPU, so Zen 2 is still powering all the consoles besides the Switch. All the consoles that really go underneath or on your by your TV, right? The Switch can, but the Switch is also a handle you can take with you, so it's got some versatility there. But they're increased that clock speed to 3.85 gigahertz, so a little bit more powerful. It's got the 60 CUs over, what was it, 36 CUs of the last generation PS5. Interesting enough, the Xbox had 50 or has 52 CUs. It's just clocked a lot slower. And whereas the GPU clock in this new GPU for the PS5 Pro is at 2.35 gigahertz. So just a little bit faster than the PS5. Then you also have, about 33 and a half teraflops versus 10 and 12 teraflops of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. So it's getting a lot more there. And yeah, they got some faster RAM and still 16 gigabytes. So that's pretty much the rundown of this. My thoughts on it, I can see where they stuck with the same CPU and they just wanted a more powerful GPU. That makes perfect sense. You don't want to change too much and have developers have to jump through too many hoops. They're going to have PS5 Pro enhanced, and that's going to be the games that support this newer PlayStation 5, and they have a list of those. So I'm hoping that that list continues to grow and continues to be a benefit for those that do get the PlayStation 5 Pro. 2 terabytes of storage, which I think was just a good move, especially, more performant console, you're going to want that. And Wi-Fi 7 support in this as well. So if you have if you have wireless 7 in your house, you're going to be able to take advantage of that. Hopefully you have a pipe coming in, internet connection that can deliver all that stuff as well. But, the price for me is going to be a hang-up. I don't think that they were necessarily targeting this for everybody. I think they're targeting people that have the PlayStation and want to get the higher fidelity out of it and want to do that upgrade. And maybe there's still some people in PlayStation 4 Pro, and this would be their next upgrade. Maybe Sony's also looking at that. As for Microsoft in this, partially not putting this console at $599 is giving Microsoft a little bit of a gift, I think. I think Sony could have put some more pressure on Microsoft to decide what are you going to do with your consoles. Our console's sitting at $599, and maybe if they would have brought down their other console to, let's say, 450 or 400 or 450, even the disc version, and put that in there, and just been like, well, they had a digital version. They could have just said, here's the digital version for 400, and just see where Microsoft would have gone from there. that would have been a very interesting little pressure move that Sony could have put on there. But the way Sony's selling consoles versus Microsoft, I don't think that they even saw as this is a need at this time. And Microsoft will have to kind of rethink of where they're going with their consoles in order to really, make a impression when the next generation comes out. But I think it was a little bit of a gift to keep their consoles, Sony's console PS5 at 700 rather than at $600. Then you also have if you're looking at one of these, should I just go to a computer? And that's a great question, or a great thing to kind of do or assess as you're looking for a new console or computer for for playing games. Now a lot more games come out on the the desktop, right? And now you're seeing a lot more games that were just exclusive to PlayStation or Xbox also come onto the computer. So if those games are on there and they've been coming out quite regular or close to launch, I would say it would be safe bet that that would be a good consideration. Now, if they are not, then pick your console, right? I'd rather you play the games you enjoy than not. And I think, if this is going to be a box that you're going to play at your desk, right, you can do other stuff with it. But if this is something that you're going to stick underneath, your TV, be a media center, be something you're going to play games on, that kind of, you have to be comfortable with using Windows, if you're going to use Windows for gaming, on that big screen. And sometimes it decides not to do what you want it to do with the controller. So those are just some things to keep in mind. But there's been some inflation and some prices that have not dropped as much as they needed to. So you're kind of balancing a whole bunch of pricing in the console actually for $700 is going to be pretty close to something you still can't beat, or pretty close. It's going to be something that, from what I've been able to kind of glean in pricing out, you can't just beat by building a desktop in that same price range, which is, what you want out of a console. So that's my thoughts on the PS5. The price is just out of what I want to be spending, but maybe I will be priced out of consoles, and I will have to adjust how I think about them in the next generation if they stay at $700, because at that point I'm looking at, well, maybe will get a bundle from Micro Center for $500, get a graphics card maybe for $350, $400 if used, because there's probably nothing new, and build a little PC I can stick underneath the TV for that and play games on there. So let me know what your thoughts are on this price, because let me know what your thoughts are on the console. I really like the technical side of it. I think it's just an awesome little piece of technical feat in that little small form factor performance. And then you get to the price and you look at the other prices of the console and you're just like, ouch. And that's where I'm at with this. So with that, I want to thank you so much for watching and supporting Grow Overloaded and helping this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and watch another one of my videos. That really does help with the channel. Until next time, God bless.